Did I scare ya? Greetings, cosmonauts! Welcome to Cassiopeia and the Cosmos of Cinema. This week, we're going to be talking about the remake of Carrie. I've never seen the original. I'm not the biggest fan of Stephen King. I saw Pet Sematary over the summer. Pretty weird. Also saw Misery over the summer, so I have a lot of Stephen King references that aren't Carrie. Probably not going to see the original Carrie. Not a good sign. So, I dig horror. I really do. I like horror. I think it explores a lot about society that we can't explore without being really dark about it. I'm not one of those girls like, oh, it's too scary, I'm so scared. No, it's a movie. Calm down. Going in, I wasn't too excited because it's not an original movie, and while they say it's a revision of the original, it's the same basic plot. You know, she's got these special powers, her mom's some religious freak, and she goes to the prom, they dump pig's blood on her. Everybody knows the plot of Carrie. I'm surprised when people don't know about Carrie. It's pretty infamous. Everybody knows what they're gonna get. Everybody knows what's gonna happen. It's all just how it's revealed. I have seen through various social outlets different gifs of the original Carrie, and the inciting scene is Carrie gets her period and doesn't know what her period is, and she starts freaking out. In the original, Sissy Spacek is naked, ass naked, and they show her like not full torso, but waist up. And it's very alarming. But I know Chloe Grace Moretz, there's no way. Now, I don't know how would they get away with that back in the 70s, and now the rules are always changing, guys. The rules are always changing. It's difficult for me to believe that someone wouldn't know what a period is. I get that you have a sheltered mom. I get that you lead this, hermit life, but hermits nowadays, they're on the computer all the time. Why doesn't Carrie have a computer? She's on the computer like one time at school. Most of the people I'm assuming they're typecasting Carrie to be like are on the computer all the time. The premise is difficult to grasp from the very beginning. From the start, I could tell, this isn't adapting very well. Dang it. So let's talk about Chloe Grace Moretz. I heard several people comment prior to my viewing that, oh, she's too pretty to be Carrie. What does that even mean? So in order to be picked on, you have to be ugly? Because that's definitely not true. Everybody gets picked on. Everybody gets bullied. And you know what? Everybody bullies. It goes both ways. Image aside, she did a great job. However, I would like to talk about my obsession in the film, which is Julianne Moore. Talk about a freaky, freaky mom. I have no idea how Carrie functions with just that person in her life. I would have all the friends. I'd be like, I'm getting out of here. You're crazy. I know you have a curfew, but I would try really hard at school if that were the case. And I'd be connecting to people through the internet. And I know her mom probably doesn't allow that, but that all seems so backwards. And I'm just having such a hard time buying it. But anytime Julianne Moore was in the frame, you were gripping your armrest because she is terrifying. You cannot trust her. She is not to be trusted. The second you think she wants the best for her daughter, she's calling her daughter a cancer, flip-flopping back and forth between, oh, well, I love you, and oh, you're the worst thing that's happened in my life. It's like, oh, I'm supposed to trust you. That relationship is really well developed, and I wish I could have seen more of Carrie and her mother in the film, because that was one of the most interesting dynamics, and it was delightful to watch. What's unfortunate about Carrie is the selling point of Carrie is the climax. Pour that blood on her at prom, and she freaks out. That's your whole selling point. There really aren't any other incredibly strong moments in the film other than that. In that one, they overdid it. They overdid it so bad. She looks fake. She looks computer generated. And then she starts floating, and they've got all the reflections from the fire. It started to get really Final Destination-y because all these clique members start dying off in these really gruesome ways, and it's like, oh, okay, well, where have we seen that before? There's all these elements from subgenres of horror, and Carrie cannot decide what subgenre, if any, it wants to be. Torture porn, psychosis, too many, and it doesn't want to decide on one, and it doesn't. Torture porn, by the way, is someone's getting brutally hurt, you're indulging in it. It's like the way they shoot it and what they're doing is like, ugh, that's just so indulgent. Indulgently torturous. Gross. Another problem, why does Julianne Moore's character think that sex is a sin? Chloe Grace Moretz even says, that's not in the Bible. You made that up. So you're calling out your own bad writing. Is that an element in the Stephen King novel? I have no idea. I think it's very strange. I would like more explanation as to why Julianne Moore's character thinks that sex is a sin, because it's totally not, unless it's out of wedlock, which I don't know if it was ever clear if the guy she was with, she was married to, because that would make sense, sort of. More sense. If you want to see a scary movie this October, Carrie's your only choice. Should you spend money and go see it, or should you just stay home on Netflix and watch Ghostbusters? Watch Ghostbusters. Could you even imagine if they tried to remake Ghostbusters? What ruckus would ensue? You can't remake Ghostbusters. It's a classic. It's the zaniest. It's completely unrelated, but you should really check that out. I was really glad I did the other night. I saw that was on there. I'm like, well, it's a Ghostbusters night, so I enjoyed it. See Carrie if you want. I have lots of questions. I have lots of holes I can poke in it, so will you. It's so-so, whatever. Not very good. Next week, I'm gonna see The Counselor, which is... I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you what it's about. I think it's about drugs. There's lots of people I like in it, and it seems pretty scandalous and thrilling. Go watch the trailer. It's really vague. It's so vague. You will have no idea what it's about, because I sure as hell don't. It's got drugs, cheetahs, Cameron Diaz, Penelope Cruz. I'm in. Thanks for watching, and tune in next week for The Counselor. Keep it spooky.